I've not seen such bravery.
American Laser Games was a company that released a number of light gun arcade games in the early 90s. Perhaps you've heard of Mad Dog McCree or Crime Patrol? That was them. The games featured live-action FMV, which explains why I'm talking about it on my channel, and were eventually ported to the Sega CD and CDI consoles, as well as DOS computers. Today we'll be taking a look at their game Space Pirates, specifically the DOS version. Unfortunately, try as I might, I was unable to get the game working on my older hardware, so we'll be playing an arcade game that was ported to DOS in DOSBox. The only downside to this seems to be a significant amount of frame tearing from time to time, but I honestly couldn't get around it, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. The evil Captain Talon has captured a ship of innocent space colonists, and it's our job as the Star Ranger to save them, as well as taking down Talon. There's also this dude who really likes to talk about,
there will be mutants.
you know, whatever.
What I need is a quick hand and a keen eye. What I need is a Star Ranger.
Fine, I guess I'll help out. But before we get started, we need to be sure to see the very end of the intro.
Remember, winners don't do drugs.
Yeah, kids, winners don't do drugs. So says the evil guy in the game. So don't do drugs, but do listen to villains. All right, good. I'm glad we're clear on that.
These pirates are armed to the teeth. This is a chance to improve your aim.
The game opens with us flying through space, and we get a chance to test our aim. This is really the only section of the game where it's okay to not hit a target. Even our mentor? Who is this guy again? I'll just call him Old Dude. Even Old Dude doesn't care if we miss targets here.
Oh well.
After that brief practice round, it's time to get to saving the universe or whatever. Levels are divided into short sections separated by opening and closing doors. Here we wander through a hallway as evil, pixely people pop out at us. The game's acting, set design, and, well, pretty much anything FMV related is about what you'd expect. It's, bad, but in a good way. For instance, here we have a space pirate who even has a space peg leg. Just, ignore the leg you see tucked behind him when he falls over. That's not something you should worry about. Enemies come at us one at a time. We're never really having to shoot multiple things in quick succession. This is because of the limitations of doing an FMV shooter in 1992. Allowing you to shoot things out of a specific order would have resulted in the developers needing to film a lot more to cover all of the different outcomes. And even though there's no thrills of a bunch of people popping up in one moment and you have to wait until people move to the correct position before you can shoot them, the novelty of getting to be the hero of a B sci-fi action movie is enough to make up for it, in my opinion.
You call that help? That was a colonist, you blasted!
Blastard. These colonists are ridiculous. They keep jumping in front of me like they want to get shot.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Well, what was the point in doing that? Just stay down there and I won't shoot you, you freaking idiot. Another unlikely advantage the enemies seem to have is their sometimes elaborate deaths. It's a little distracting to see someone fall from some rafters and bounce back up, you know?
Your history!
Well, I think that's as far as we need to go with this one. I'm sure there's probably more to the game, but it's gotta be more or less the same, right? I'm sure we've seen enough.
You can't give up now, Ian. You have to save the colonists.
Jirard, is that you?
Yeah, man. Every time someone's about to give up on a video game and I vaguely resemble the character on the box art, I show up to encourage them to beat the game. It's one of my completionist duties.
Well, that's dumb and unsensical and highly unlikely to be a real thing, and you don't even look that much like the guy on the box. But okay, let's keep going. Since this is just a port of an arcade shooter, it's a little unforgiving in terms of lives. As far as I can tell, there are no extra lives, and once you make 3 mistakes, it's the end of the road. Since the game isn't trying to gobble up your quarters when you're playing at home, a very simple save mechanic has been added. You can save and load whenever and wherever, and you get to listen to this great save and load sound.
Save, save, save,
I don't know why, he just sounds so smooth.
save.
What is supposed to be happening in this scene anyway? There's some people in a cage, people tied up in random places. Doesn't seem like the villains really had a place to put the colonists before they decided to capture them.
Well, Jirard, people in cages and tied up randomly, we're either in a very B-movie-esque FMV game or something much more adult. So let's just consider ourselves lucky. I don't know why, but that guy's line delivery is hilarious to me. To the transporter room! Yeah, come on guys, to the transporter room! Hey Jirard, while I'm thinking about it, how would you feel if I tucked the front of my shirt into my butt crack like this guy did? Would I be a fashion hero or a fashion zero?
I don't want to say either of those things. Don't you have colonists to save?
I got it. I just saved this guy's life. And this guy is mildly excited about it. Finally, we're about to save the commander, but not before we're slowly attacked by a trickle of enemies.
Get Talon! Get Talon!
Wait, was that the same guy? Did he just crawl from one hiding space to another just to pop up and say the same thing?
No time to worry about that, Jirard. We gotta—
Get Talon!
Take that, Rick!
Save Ursula!
I like how at this point, even the bad guys are trying to pull the colonists out of the way. Like, get out of here, you're gonna get yourself shot, you idiot.
Nice work, Ranger. Now to the transporter.
Now that the commander is saved, it's time to get to the other objectives of the game, defeating Captain Talon. To do so, we have to retrieve the Star Splitter cannon as well as the 3 crystals required to power it. Each component is located in a different world, which means, Ian, you've got some more shooting to do.
Sorry, I was a little distracted. Do you think her shirt is fashionable in this dimension? It looks like one of her shoulder pads escaped to her other shoulder or something.
Focus, Ian, focus! There's evil afoot!
I guess you're right. Okay, so the gameplay isn't going to change in any of these worlds. That's really not surprising given that it's a port of a shooting arcade game. We'll just be shooting lasers. So instead of dwelling on each world for an extended period of time, let's just talk about some of the good parts from each one. Jirard, you're the guest here, you can go first.
In the first world, a pink-haired woman gives us a strange-sounding message. Just take a moment to see if you can decode this thing.
Madam Pots and Pans, beware of his flute and the palm of her hand.
Now take a moment to see how wrong you are, because there's no way this is what you imagined.
Look, Menopause, we have a customer.
For the sand, Mr. Pat? Or could it be?
In search of a crystal.
With only a pistol.
Then he's mad, Madam Pot.
No, that's me.
If you just so happen to have the lightning-fast reflexes needed to shoot this woman's hand off before she zaps you, Madam Potts then proceeds to throw cups into the air, remarking,
Maybe he can shoot.
over and over again.
Maybe he can shoot.
After vaporizing a few cups, we're unceremoniously dumped to the level select screen. Now, I'm assuming she just gave us the crystal she had, but the game only really tells us that maybe we can shoot. Also, don't try to go back to levels you've already beaten. It's not a good idea.
Oh yeah, wow, it really shows how much more successful the bad guys would be if they didn't take turns walking right into my line of fire. World number 2, also known as the world in the top right corner, I guess, starts off with yet another innocent person inexplicably eager to jump in front of my laser pistol.
Don't shoot what the fire command brings from the fire, but shoot before lightning strikes.
So apparently, people in strange outfits with terrible vocal effects giving us weird riddles is a common theme in this dimension. It'd be really great if I could actually understand the words they're saying, but the audio quality is terrible, and this is what I'm hearing.
Don't shoot what the medicine man brings from the fire, but shoot before lightning strikes.
This is after listening to it many, many times. The first time I heard it, I couldn't even make out a guess. It didn't sound like they were speaking English. We then shoot some magic floating rings for important reasons, I'm sure. And then there's this guy.
Sit by the fire. Perhaps the location of the crystal can be seen within.
Oh geez, what is that? Alright.
Be careful, Ranger.
So we don't shoot that guy, I guess. He must be the, postman straight from the buyer. Once we do that and pass another shooting challenge, the crystal is ours. We're halfway there.
Well, hello all you fine-looking people out there. Welcome to World 3, where there's only one thing we care about, dancing. I better see you up on your feet and your hands in the air as we do our favorite dance. And if you don't know the moves, well, you will.
Get up, Star Ranger! Star Ranger! Star Ranger! Get up, Star Ranger! Get up, Star Ranger!
In World 4, which looks suspiciously similar to World 1, I came across the worst innocent person ever, literally the worst. I'm busy shooting teleporting, I don't know, genie dudes, and you decide that now is a great time to jump right in front of me? Okay, what was so important you have to tell me right now?
Get Captain Talon!
What do these people think I'm doing in their crap hole desert of a world in the first place? I'm obviously trying to get Captain Talon, dude. Leave me alone. There's another riddle.
Star Ranger, Selena's beauty is just in the skies. Everything she says is a pack of lies.
Which tells us to choose the opposite things that this lady tells us to choose. Then we have to pass yet another shooting test. This time we're shooting, I'm not really sure what they are, but I can see the string holding them up in the air, which is pretty funny.
Once we have all the crystals and the Star Splitter cannon, it's time to finally face Captain Talon. First, we need to use the cannon to take down his ship.
This scene is probably the most successful in terms of being a convincing FMV sequence. We see familiar areas in chaos as we slowly damage the vessel, and although the shake the camera and wobble aroundness is obvious, I still felt like I was taking down Talon's ship. It was pretty cool.
You've committed an unforgivable act.
Oh, well, would you look at that? We must have shot his beard clean off. All that's left is a bit of stubble. You won't be rocking that new look for long, though, because after just a few shots at him, Captain Talon is dead, and it's time to celebrate by getting wasted. The end. Or is it? I guess his spirit will live on forever, then. I had a good time with Space Pirates, but it's not without its issues. The most unfortunate thing is probably that the combat drags from time to time. Again, probably just due to technical limitations. Still, picking off enemies slowly the entire game does get a little boring. Also, the game has some cheap deaths, and sometimes finding the exact right place and moment to shoot can result in a lot of dying and having to load a save 1, 2, maybe 10 times. And then there are times when the resolution on the video is so low that it's nearly impossible to see what's shooting at you. Like, I still don't see the person that's shooting at me here, it's just a blob. That said, the game more or less overcomes this obstacle with the save and load feature. It's still frustrating, sure, but at least I don't have to start from the beginning every time. All things considered, I still think Space Pirates was a fun time. I can't help it, I like FMV, it's like playing through a B movie, it's great. It didn't take too long to play through, just long enough, and was silly and zany enough to remain interesting and entertaining the entire time. In conclusion, I'd say that if you get a chance to play Space Pirates, I'd take that chance. But I don't know that I'd go too far out of my way for it. I am interested in trying out some of the other American laser games though. In fact, I have a couple on hand. So if you'd like to take a look at them with me, Jirard. Oh, well, he must have left when we beat the game. That's a little bit sad, but Jirard will live on in the hearts and minds of us all. And over on his YouTube channel, I guess. Hey there, thanks for watching. And a big thanks to Jirard, the Completionist, for joining me on this video. It was a lot of fun. Be sure to check out his new video on Day of the Tentacle Remastered. You might see someone familiar there. Me. You're gonna see me there. I'm on that video.
Save the commander! Save the commander! Save the commander!